Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of It's Game Time. Actually, this episode is a little different. Instead of, I guess, the oh god, these games really piss me crap off, or doing the Mortal Kombat rate finisher deal, which those. Actually, this one is going to be a little bit different. This is actually going to be a review of what I did to my arcade cap. I have some people that kind of saw on Instagram and Facebook and what parts there are and how is it decided to make a YouTube video. But I'm going to dedicate it to as game time. So that's why the name episode excuse me, that's why the name of the episode is Arcade Fanatic. So said, here we go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and this is my Marvel Superheroes arcade 1-up cabinet that has been modded by parts from Arcade Mod Up. So this video is going to be in two parts. It's going to be about the hardware, and it's going to be about the software. One small background story about this arcade cabinet. I always wanted an arcade cabinet, and I told myself at some point, maybe one day, I will get an arcade cabinet. Obviously, Arcade 1-up actually started coming out with these little bundles, and I was like, I want one, but it's got to be one that actually has to gravitate me or whatnot. And then they announced the Marvel Superheroes cabinet, which this game has given me so many nostalgic memories. And this was the game back in the arcade that I guess you could say taught me to learn how to use that get good sauce. And this was the game that actually forced me to learn how to play fighting games seriously. So a lot of memories flow through this arcade cabinet. Alright, so like I said, we're about to go ahead and break this up into two parts. So here comes the inner guts and everything. Here comes hardware. So I figured before I started, showing the guts and everything, I want to go ahead and I guess you could say start on the mod kit itself. Like, they actually sell these as a kit. I mean, also probably like, I guess, separate parts, but as a kit it comes with the control panel. And so small thing before I get into detail with the control panel. Oh, look, there's still a little piece of tape on some of these buttons. This kinda, alright, I'll put it this way. This is a style panel that I ordered, but not the artwork, sort of. But I'm not going to complain because there's been a whole issue with freaking FedEx, and that's all I'm going to say. But the buttons and joysticks are all Sanwa buttons and joysticks. They feel amazing. They're very clicky. I didn't have really any issues whatsoever playing most of the fighting games. I mean, all my special moves come out great. All my combos, they come out pretty good. I actually had to somewhat get used to the buttons being a little slanted a little bit. It's not the first that I played this, but on the original arcade, or excuse me, the original board or whatever or whatnot, the buttons are actually, leveled across perfectly or whatever or whatnot. So, I mean, I'm not griping about this, but, other than that, everything's great. I did order a trackball because I wanted a trackball, to play some of these trackball games like bowling or golf or whatever or whatnot. One of the things about Arcade Mod Up is you can actually order a 4-player controller board, or you can actually order like a 2-player XL board. Unfortunately, I stuck with not really unfortunately, I guess, I don't know, but I stuck with the OG size, not the extra large size, because honestly I don't really have much space. I mean, to be honest with you, my arcade cabinet is kind of already in my, girlfriend's space. So, and there's my space of stuff over there. So I don't have much space, unfortunately. So I work with what I got. Overall, this was great. Now we are in the inner guts of the arcade cabinet. More on the quote-unquote kit. So for starters, I had to pretty much mount this, no big deal. It is now being ran by a Raspberry Pi 4 with a 512 gigabyte micro SD, which is obviously way more than enough games, or way more than enough space for the games. There's your controllers being hooked up right there. Dual, or not dual, but double micro or mini HDMI, excuse me. Got your power, and you got your brain fart. Nope, that is power. And I got a brain fart. But anyways, now I will say with what I got, instead of going from one power cord to power everything, I'm now running 4. I'll get to that. So there's power cord number 1. Power cord number 2 is the LCD monitor board. So basically, we have to rip out the old mechanism that powered the original Marvel Superheroes game and everything, and we took the monitor board, or the monitor cords, and we hooked it up to this new board. Sucks that I got this little controller thing dangling, but I kind of have no other place to put it, and I don't want it to be close to metal, I guess you can say. So basically with this board now I can technically hook up anything that's HDMI. So I can hook up my PlayStation, I can hook up my Xbox or a PC or whatever or whatnot. So that's what the purpose of this board is. So that's another power cord within itself right there. And the last part of the mod kit is this amplifier. So hooking the OG speakers up to the Raspberry Pi 4, obviously, as you notice on the joystick board, I don't have a power switch or a volume board anymore. So basically this is now how I control my volume, is hooking it through the Raspberry Pi and going from there. If you hook the sounds directly to the Raspberry Pi without the amplifier, you really won't have any sound, really. But I will tell you this makes everything sound much better. So 1 power cord, 2 power cord, 3 power cords. The 4th one, that's basically the kit, is the joystick that you ordered, the monitor board, and the Raspberry Pi. Now I added a bonus that's going to be talking about this, but honestly I'm not going to take this off. I'm just going to show you in the front, which you already probably seen. This here is the LCD Marquee. This was a bonus. Like, I threw in extra money to get this. This is not a part of the kit, but I will say this is definitely worth the money. I don't feel like taking off all that to show the inner guts, but I will say my only gripe about this is the video that I saw that they were showing off this whatever or whatnot. They were saying that everything fits in flush, which, I mean, it does, but then it kind of don't. And I tried to screw this in more, but it doesn't go anymore. And I'm afraid of screwing too much and it hits the screen, whatever. But I mean, it's flush enough, it's in there, it's kind of being held by mostly that one screw and the screws that holds the speakers in place or whatever or whatnot. So that's my only complaint, is it's flush enough, but not as flush as they were explaining, I guess you can say. But for what it is, what it does, it's fantastic. Any game that I load up there's a marquee for it. And if they don't have a marquee for it, yeah, I mean, they kind of either says retrocade or some sort of makeshift marquee or whatnot. But with that being said, I'm about to go ahead and put everything back together. Now we're going to go to software. So probably one of the things that's probably being said as whatever whatnot is, how do I turn on this arcade cabinet now that I don't have really a accessible power switch? I mean, the only one that I really had was the surge protector, but I decided to take it up another notch. Hey Google, turn on the arcade cabinet. Oh god, I don't think I did see this intro before. And there you go. So I will say this, the company Arcade Mod Up really put some they put in some work and dedication into this setup. I will say that. Oh, if you haven't noticed, yes, my buttons do light up. So everything here is being ran by RetroArch or RetroPie, but really RetroArch. I'm not too familiar with RetroArch other than when I messed around with it on the Nintendo Wii for a little bit, but I mean, I'll put it this way, this is the best that I can really break it down on this one. All right, it's emulation. We know how emulation works. Okay, there are some things that's going to be running buttery smooth, there are some things that's not going to be running buttery smooth, and this will be my only gripe about this is maybe as a let's see if I can get a little closer. Maybe as a okay, maybe as a person that's doing this on for myself or for a buddy or whatever or whatnot, sure, I will add in games that may work kind of sketchy just for an experiment. Like for example, like we got Dreamcast, Atomic Wave, and Naomi, which I know we just seen that, and I mean, there it is, Naomi. Oh, as I just skipped it, whatever. And like your classic, Neo Geo games and Nintendo games and all that stuff, they run fine. But like, let's see if I can find something in here. I'm also surprised about the list of games that they have. Neo Geo Battle Coliseum. Let's go with that. My thing is, as a company, you're advertising these games that you're selling with this kit. I'm expecting them to work and there's a marquee deal. I'm expecting them to work, pretty good, maybe. I mean, you can't really always trust emulation, but still. But instead, there are some games that don't work at all or just run trash, and I don't know. That's just my only gripe about this. I know this game works. I've played this, sort of. Maybe. Well, I know it works. I guess sometimes it just takes a minute to load up. I'm trying to see if I can go up. Oh, there it is. Hopefully it's not too loud. Let's see if I can try to play this one-handed and turn this down just maybe a tad bit. Alright, and also the buttons are a little jacked up. Not for all games, but this is definitely one of the games that the buttons are jacked up, like where punch is supposed to be kind of like it's kick or whatever. But where's my boy Iori and Geo? I'm gonna see if I can kind of demonstrate what's going on one-handed, I guess you can say. All right.
No escape. Fight.
Alright. Well, like it runs okay. It runs not too bad-ish, I guess. Sometimes it has a slowdown. Yeah, you can kind of see it chopping up and everything. So it's not entirely bad, I guess. But so if you want to back out to a new game after you load up, you simply hold medium punch and coin, and it takes you to the RetroArch menu for this game. I say for this game because if you need to change buttons, you can actually change your buttons. So that's cool, because there's some games like Magical Drop, if you know, I had to change the buttons because they made it pick up and drop, and I can't do that. Let me see. Oh, I do know one game that runs like straight trash. I definitely do. Let's see if I can find it in, where is it? I think there's like a last played. I am actually a little upset about this. Maybe it's in, no, it's not in here. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go to all games. Oh, I literally just seen it. Also still learning how to, there it is. And super scroll it. And oh, and there it is. Killer Instinct Arcade. This is definitely one of the games that runs like trash. Like, it is unplayable. There's a Marquee coming up. Like I said, I love the LCD Marquee. Totally love it. There's a game loading up. Pop some coins in. Yeah, see? Yeah, this game runs like trash. Like utter trash. I don't know why my joystick isn't even working, but that's okay. Yeah, this, I can't do it. I can't. But other than that, like, that's my only gripe. Oh, and one other thing I want to show before I go ahead and cut it to the end. You can change themes, and they have so many themes. It's not even funny. There's so many themes, like, and there's so many. Well, I think there's like maybe 3 or 4 different opening sequence when booting this up. But I mean, you choose that, you just go to back, give it a second, and poof. Like, I think one of my favorite themes, definitely though, is, oh, where is it? Where is it? Here we go. I think it's Tron Neon. I think that's it. Well, not this one, but it's close. Nope, UI. Hold on. I think it's Tron Suite. Alright, we got Tron Legacy Suite, Tron Neon, Tron Suite. Let's go Tron Legacy. Yeah, let's go there. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. I really do like this theme. That's just me. I'm gonna go ahead and favorites, and then, but then that pops up. I don't know. I think they could have somewhat, well, it still is somewhat, kind of stuck with the Tron theme, but that's really about it. So overall, what I think about it, well, let's go to the end sequence. So my overall thoughts about the arcade mod up parts that I bought. This is for the people who, I guess you can say somewhat like me, don't have the time to make the parts, don't have the time to program stuff, don't have the time to do anything. They're just looking for something that they can just go ahead and buy everything pre-made and just swap and go. For those people who are looking for that, I would tell you this, the biggest gripe is probably putting games on the system that runs like trash. That's really about that, and the LCD Marquee, if you order that, doesn't really fit flush, at least with me. Maybe be different for other people, but outside of that, buttons feel great, the joystick feels great. I love the light up menus. I'm still learning how to get to what games actually do work fantastic. There are some graphic intense games that actually work decent if playable. I mean, Abs Cap, that's okay too, and that's kind of playable. That's Marvel vs. Cap, that's kind of playable. But if you can look past the games that don't work or works like trash or whatever, then yes, it's definitely worth investing money into that mod kit. That entire kit right there, the kit and the LCD screen, cost me $500. So it's kind of a pretty penny. You're basically buying a whole new arcade one-up cabinet, but it's worth it. That's basically the one-stop shop. And then on top, you can add in controller adapter to play like 4 more controllers or 2 more controllers or something like that, which I could probably do that. All it is a USB adapter. There are light gun games. I mean, they advertise 6,300 games. There's a game for every body, everything, everywhere. So yes, I approve of the arcade mod up. Description box down below if anybody wants to take a look at their stuff, and this is done. I guess sponsor, whatever, I'm giving them a shout out. So with that being said, that for today's episode of It's Game Time, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my video. All the fancy credit of backgrounds and logos and everything, you know the whole deal is all in the bottom. Twitch, Patreon, everything, all down in the bottom. Until next time, later.